High Chancellor Drax paced the conference room aboard his ship. For 3 days, negotiations had continued between Earth and the Galactic Council. The humans had revealed just how extensively they had deployed their ships throughout Council space, over 50 locations, all critical to galactic governance and security. "You've made your point," Drax finally said to Rodriguez and Admiral Miller. "What does Earth want?" "A new relationship," Rodriguez answered, "not based on technological hierarchy, but on mutual respect." Captain Wright, who had joined the talks as the commander of Earth's first contact mission, added, "We don't want to rule the galaxy. We want to be part of it, as equals." Drax looked troubled. "The Council has maintained order for thousands of years by controlling certain technologies. And that era is ending," Miller said firmly. "Your sensors can't detect our ships. Your weapons can't stop us. But we're offering cooperation instead of domination." While they talked, Fleet Commander Vox made his move. Against Drax's orders, he commanded 3 battle cruisers to approach Earth. His plan was simple: a show of force to put the humans in their place. "Prepare main weapons," Vox ordered his captains. "Target their major cities." But when they tried to fire, nothing happened. All weapon systems remained offline. "What's happening?" Vox demanded. His science officer looked terrified. "Commander, there are small devices attached to our ships. They're generating some kind of field that's disrupting our technology." Alan and Olivia had designed these devices based on their discovery of how the Porter Green field affected Council technology. Earth's stealth ships had attached them to Council vessels weeks ago. Back in the conference room, a message came through. Admiral Miller read it and smiled slightly. "It seems Commander Vox tried to take aggressive action," she told Drax. "His weapons didn't respond." Drax's face showed a mix of anger and resignation. "Call him off. Now." For the first time in Council history, a new species had completely outmaneuvered them. The humans had changed the game. Over the next 2 days, a new agreement took shape. It would later be called the Terra Accords. Under its terms, Earth would join the Galactic Council not as a junior member, but as an equal partner. Technological sharing would be voluntary, not forced. "There's one more thing," Rodriguez said as they prepared to sign the agreement. "Earth insists on an open technology policy for all species. No more suppression of innovation." This was the hardest point for Drax to accept. The Council had maintained power partly by controlling which technologies were available to younger species. "The galaxy has operated a certain way for a long time," Drax argued. "And now it's time for change," the President replied. "We've seen what your monitoring stations do, watching developing worlds, making sure they follow the expected path. That ends now." Drax knew he had no choice. With human ships able to go anywhere undetected, the old system couldn't be maintained. "Agreed," he said finally. When the Terra Accords were announced, reactions varied across the galaxy. Many Council members were outraged. Some younger species celebrated, but all understood that something fundamental had changed. 1 month later, the first joint Human Council research project began. Alan and Olivia worked with scientists from 12 species, including Ilara, to explore new applications of the Porter Green technology. "Did you ever think this would happen?" Olivia asked Alan as they watched alien scientists examine their work with excitement. "Never," he admitted. "I just wanted to understand quantum entanglement better." On the rebuilt Council chambers, now located on a neutral world, representatives from Earth took their seats for the first time. Earth had not used its advantage to dominate but to reform. Fleet Commander Vox had been replaced. Intelligence Officer Krell now worked with Admiral Miller on security reforms, and Ambassador Threll had developed a genuine respect for human diplomacy. The galaxy had changed forever because of one unexpected discovery in a small lab in Nebraska. No one had expected Earth's FTL tech, and now the galaxy would never be the same. 1 week after the diplomatic meetings began, Ambassador Threll requested a private session with Earth's leaders. His friendly tone was gone, replaced by a firm, authoritative voice. "The Galactic Council has reached a decision regarding Earth," Threll announced. "You must share your FTL technology with us and accept Council oversight of all your future space travel." The room was silent for a moment. Then Rodriguez spoke. "And if we refuse? Then Earth will be isolated. No trade, no cultural exchange, no access to other star systems," Threll said. "We control all established space lanes." The president leaned forward. "Ambassador, we value our independence. We're happy to be part of the galactic community, but we won't surrender our technological sovereignty." Threll's expression hardened. "High Chancellor Drax will arrive tomorrow to hear your final answer. I suggest you reconsider." After Threll left, Admiral Miller entered the room. "It's time to show our hand, Mr. President. The Council fleet is moving closer to Earth. Prepare Phase 3, the President ordered. On the Council homeworld, Fleet Commander Vox met with his officers. "Once the humans refuse the ultimatum, we move immediately to establish the blockade. No human ships will leave their system." "What if they resist?" asked one of his captains. "Their handful of ships cannot stand against our fleet," Vox said confidently. "They are newcomers playing a game we've mastered over thousands of years." Little did he know that the U.S. horizon was already positioned near 6 critical Council worlds. Captain Harper had deployed special devices developed by Alan and Olivia around key military installations. These devices used the Porter Green field to silently disable Council weapon systems. "All units report ready, Admiral," Harper reported to Miller. "Stand by," Miller replied. "Wait for my signal." High Chancellor Drax arrived at Earth the next day aboard his personal vessel. The massive ship dwarfed the previous diplomatic craft. It landed with a display of power, kicking up dust across the Nevada desert. Drax did not bother with pleasantries. "Have you considered our requirements?" he asked the assembled human leaders. "We have," the president said. "Earth respectfully declines. We wish to join the galactic community as equals, not subjects." Drax looked unsurprised. "That is unfortunate. As of now, Earth is under quarantine. Any attempt to leave your system will be met with force." Rodriguez stepped forward with a data tablet. "Before you finalize that decision, High Chancellor, please look at this." The screen showed live feeds from dozens of locations throughout Council space. Human ships visible near critical Council facilities, stealth probes beside key defense installations. All had been invisible to Council sensors until this moment. Drax's eyes widened. "This is impossible." "We've had ships throughout Council space for months," Rodriguez explained. "We know about the planned blockade. We know about Fleet Commander Vox's preparations for military action." Admiral Miller joined them. "We also know about the Council's history of suppressing technological advancement in younger species. Ilara has been very helpful." "This is an act of war," Drax hissed. "No," the president said firmly. "This is a demonstration that isolation won't work against us. Your sensors can't detect our ships. Your blockade can't stop us." In orbit around Earth, the Council ships suddenly found their weapon systems offline. The Porter Green field extensions were working perfectly. "What have you done?" Drax demanded. "Shown you that conflict isn't in anyone's interest," Rodriguez said calmly. "We don't want war, Chancellor. We want fair treatment." While they spoke, Fleet Commander Vox received alarming reports from across Council space. Human ships had appeared near major military bases, government centers, and key trade hubs. Their blockade plan was useless. "Our weapons aren't responding," Vox's officer reported. "The humans have some kind of dampening field." For the first time in centuries, the Galactic Council faced a situation they couldn't control. Their technological superiority, the foundation of their power, had been undermined by a species they had dismissed as primitive only months ago. Drax realized he needed a new approach. The Galactic Council diplomatic ship landed at a special facility built just for this purpose in the Nevada desert. Ambassador Threll stepped out with 4 other aliens. They wore formal robes with symbols of the Council embroidered on them. Kevin Rodriguez walked forward to greet them. "Welcome to Earth, Ambassador Threll. We are honored by your visit." Threll bowed slightly. "The Galactic Council extends greetings to humanity. We are surprised by your rapid advancement. We look forward to learning from each other," Rodriguez said, carefully avoiding any mention of their FTL technology. The public welcomed the aliens with excitement and curiosity. News channels showed the diplomatic meetings. What the public didn't see were the military ships the Council had positioned just beyond Pluto. Admiral Miller watched the hidden feed from one of Earth's stealth ships. "They've brought 12 battlecruisers," she told the president. "They're setting up a blockade while smiling for the cameras." "Can our ships get past them?" the president asked. "Without a problem," Miller said. "They can't detect us using the Porter Green Drive. We already have 3 ships beyond their line." On the Council flagship, Fleet Commander Vox studied the reports from their scientists. "Have you made any progress detecting their drive technology?" "None, Commander," the chief scientist admitted. "Their method of travel leaves no energy signature we can track. It's like they simply disappear from one location and appear in another." "That's impossible," Vox snapped. "All transportation requires energy. Find it." Meanwhile, in Washington, D.C., Ambassador Threll met with Earth's leaders. His words were friendly, but everyone noticed the underlying message. "The Council welcomes Earth to the galactic community," Threll said. "We have established protocols for new spacefaring species. These protocols ensure safety and stability for all." "What protocols are those?" Rodriguez asked, though he already knew the answer from Ilara's information. "Sharing of technology, adherence to established trade routes, and integration into the Council Defense Network," Threll explained. "It's for mutual protection. And if we choose not to follow these protocols?" the Secretary of State asked. Threll's expression didn't change. "That would be unfortunate. New species often find it difficult to navigate interstellar politics without Council guidance." Back at the research facility, Alan and Olivia worked with Ilara, who had secretly come to Earth aboard the Pathfinder during its 2nd mission. She had decided to help humans after seeing how the Council was planning to contain them. "The Council has never encountered a species that developed FTL travel like yours," Ilara explained. "They're frightened of what they don't understand." "Will they attack us?" Olivia asked. "Not directly, not yet," Ilara said. "But they'll try to force you to share your technology and submit to their oversight." Ellen smiled. "Little do they know, we're already watching them." Aboard the U.S. Horizon, still hidden near the Council headquarters, Captain Harper received new orders from Admiral Miller. "Begin Phase 2 surveillance. Place monitoring devices near all major Council facilities." "Yes, Admiral," Harper replied. His ship deployed small stealth probes that used the Porter Green field to remain undetectable. In the Council chambers, High Chancellor Zrax met with Intelligence Officer Krell and Fleet Commander Vox in secret. "The humans are hiding something," Krell said. "They're being cooperative, but they haven't explained how their ships travel." "I don't trust them," Vox added. "We should take control of their system now, before they develop further." Zrax looked troubled. "We must follow protocol. Give the diplomats time to work." "And if diplomacy fails?" Vox asked. "Then we move to containment," Zrax said firmly. "We cannot allow an unpredictable species with advanced technology to disrupt the galactic order." What none of them realized was that a small Earth probe was recording their entire conversation. Within hours, Rodriguez and Admiral Miller knew exactly what the Council was planning. "They're going to demand our drive technology," Miller told the president. "And when we refuse, they'll try to isolate us from the rest of the galaxy." The president looked grim. "Then we need to show them that won't be possible. It's time for Phase 3. 6 months after the Pathfinders returned to Earth, humanity had made rapid progress. Alan and Olivia worked day and night with a team of top scientists to improve the Porter Green drive. They discovered something even more valuable than they first realized. It's not just that they can't detect our jumps. Alan explained to a room full of military and government officials. The drive creates a field that makes the entire ship invisible to their scanning technology. "You mean we're completely undetectable?" asked General Paul Harris, the newly appointed head of Earth's defense program. "As long as we're using the drive, yes," Olivia confirmed. "Even at low power, it bends space slightly around the ship. Their sensors literally look past us." In a secret facility under the Pacific Ocean, 3 more ships were under construction. Larger than the Pathfinder, they could carry more people and supplies. Each was built with the improved drive system. On the diplomatic front, a man named Kevin Rodriguez had been chosen as Earth's first interstellar diplomat. He was studying everything they had learned about alien cultures from their visit to Proxima Centauri and from Ilara, who had secretly shared information with them. "The Council works like this," Rodriguez explained to the president during a briefing. "Older species have more power. New species start at the bottom. They don't expect us to have any leverage." "But we do," the president said. Rodriguez smiled. "They don't know that yet." Admiral Diane Miller, a veteran naval officer with a background in strategic planning, developed Earth's defense strategy. She saw the potential of their stealth technology immediately. "We should position ships throughout nearby systems before the Council makes contact," she suggested. "They can't track us, so we'll have eyes and ears everywhere." The president approved her plan. Within weeks, Earth's small fleet was deployed to key locations around neighboring star systems. Each ship carried scientists and military personnel with strict orders: observe only, remain hidden, and gather intelligence. Meanwhile, Alan and Olivia made another breakthrough. They were testing the drive's effects on different materials when they noticed something strange. "Look at this," Olivia said, pointing to a screen showing test results. "When we run Council technology through our field, it stops working." Alan leaned closer. "The field disrupts their power systems somehow. It's like their technology operates on principles that are incompatible with the spatial distortion we create. This means we could potentially disable their ships without firing a shot," Olivia said quietly. They reported this discovery to Admiral Miller immediately. She understood its importance. "This is the advantage we need," she said. "But we keep this quiet. It's our ace in the hole." The U.S. Horizon, Earth's newest ship, departed on a secret mission to the Galactic Council headquarters. Captain Steve Harper and his crew used the stealth capabilities of their drive to position themselves near the massive space station without being detected. "We're in position," Harper reported back to Earth. "They have no idea we're here." From this hidden vantage point, they observed Council ships coming and going. They intercepted communications and learned that the diplomatic mission to Earth was already underway. "They're sending Ambassador Threll," Harper reported. "But there's more. They're also sending military vessels to establish a containment perimeter around our solar system." On Earth, Rodriguez prepared for the alien diplomats, while Admiral Miller put her defense plan into action. Small Porter Green-equipped scout ships were deployed throughout Earth's solar system, hiding near the expected arrival points of the Council fleet. "Let them come," Miller told her officers. "They think they're dealing with newcomers who got lucky with one ship. They have no idea what we're really capable of." The alien diplomatic vessel entered the solar system 3 days later, broadcasting greetings on multiple frequencies. Earth responded warmly, inviting them to a formal meeting. What the aliens didn't know was that humanity had ships watching their every move, not just in the solar system, but throughout Council space. The rules of the game were about to change. The alien ship docked with the Pathfinder using a universal airlock system. Captain Wright, Frank Ellis, and Major Bennett waited as the inner door opened. The aliens that stepped through were tall and thin with bluish skin and large eyes. "We are humans from planet Earth," Wright said, using a simple translation device developed from signals Earth had intercepted over the years. The lead alien's eyes widened. Impossible. Earth is a pre-FTL civilization. You cannot be here. Yet here we are, Wright said with a small smile. The alien, who introduced himself as Trell, was a scientific officer at the monitoring station. He kept looking at their ship with obvious confusion. Your vessel has no conventional drive signatures. How did you travel here? We developed our own method, Ellis said carefully. It works differently than what you might be familiar with. While they talked, Bennett secretly scanned the aliens and their technology. The data would be valuable when they returned to Earth. Trell offered to show them inside the monitoring station. This is unprecedented. No species has ever appeared with FTL capability without being detected in development stages. Inside the station, they met the commander, a female alien named Vala. She was less welcoming than Trell. I must report this to the Galactic Council immediately, she said, moving to a communication panel. Wright nodded politely. Of course. We understand this is surprising. What none of the humans revealed was that Alan and Olivia were still aboard the Pathfinder, studying the alien technology from a safe distance. On the massive space station that served as the Galactic Council headquarters, High Chancellor Zrax received the urgent message from Proxima Centauri. He read it twice, then called an emergency meeting. Humans have arrived at Proxima Centauri, he told the gathered council members. They have developed FTL travel without any detection by our monitoring systems. Impossible, said Council Member Drav, representing the Volari Empire. Their technology is primitive. The evidence suggests otherwise. Zrax replied. The humans appeared without warning. Their ship uses no known drive technology. Intelligence Officer Krell, a small gray alien with 6 fingers on each hand, spoke up. This is concerning. If they can travel undetected, what else might they be capable of? We must contain this situation immediately, said another council member. Humans are unpredictable and potentially dangerous. I agree, Krell said. We should isolate Earth until we understand their technology. Zrax nodded slowly. I'll dispatch a diplomatic vessel to Earth. At the same time, we'll position defense ships in nearby systems, just as a precaution. At the Proxima Centauri station, the humans met an alien scientist named Ilara. Unlike the others, she seemed genuinely curious about humans rather than threatened. Your method of travel must be revolutionary, she said to Wright. I've studied many species' FTL systems, but none can appear without energy signatures. Wright chose her words carefully. We found a different approach to the problem. Ilara lowered her voice. Be careful. The Council doesn't like surprises, especially technological ones. They maintain power through technological superiority. Thank you for the warning, Wright said. Ellis moved closer. What can you tell us about Council politics? The Council has controlled interstellar travel for thousands of years, Ilara explained. New species are carefully monitored and only contacted after they develop conventional FTL drives. Drives the Council can track and, if necessary, disable. And now we've broken that pattern, Bennett said. Ilara nodded. Exactly. The Council will see you as a threat to the established order. Back on the Pathfinder, Alan and Olivia had made an important discovery. Their sensors are completely blind to our drive signature, Olivia told Wright over the secure comlink. They literally cannot detect us when we jump. That gives us an advantage, Wright replied. We'll need it. I think we've stirred up a hornet's nest. Ilara's warning proved correct. By the time the Pathfinder returned to Earth, the Galactic Council was already planning its response to humanity's unexpected arrival on the galactic stage. Major Bennett stood inside the displacement field generator. The metal ring around her was now large enough to fit a person comfortably. Doctors had attached sensors to monitor her vital signs. All systems ready, Alan said, checking the control panel. The target point is just 30 feet away. Are you sure about this? Positive, Bennett said. Her face was calm, but her hands were tight fists at her sides. Initiating displacement in 3, 2, 1. Ellen pressed the button. The air around Bennett shimmered slightly, and then she was gone. Instantly, she appeared in the target ring across the room. "Success!" Olivia shouted. Bennett stepped out of the ring, a little unsteady but smiling. It felt like nothing. No sensation at all. That human test opened the floodgates of government support. 18 months later, in a hidden facility beneath the New Mexico desert, the first spaceship equipped with the Porter Green Drive was ready. They named it the U.S. Pathfinder. It wasn't very large, just big enough for a crew of 5. But it could fold space across vast distances. The ship itself was built with conventional materials to avoid raising alien suspicions. The ship can travel instantly to any point we can provide exact coordinates for. Alan explained to the small group of officials watching the final tests. "How far can it go?" asked the Secretary of Defense. "There's no theoretical limit," Olivia said. "But for safety, we've set the first jump for Proxima Centauri, our nearest star system. And the aliens won't detect it. Their sensors are designed to detect conventional propulsion and the energy signatures of their own FTL technology," Frank Ellis explained. "This works on completely different principles." Captain Samantha Wright was chosen to command the mission. She had experience piloting experimental aircraft and a background in astrophysics. Along with her, the crew included Alan, Olivia, Major Bennett, and Frank Ellis. "Our mission is simple," Captain Wright told them during their final briefing. "Jump to Proxima Centauri, gather data on any alien presence there, and return safely. No contact unless absolutely necessary." The night before launch, Alan couldn't sleep. He stood looking at the Pathfinder through the observation window. "Nervous?" Olivia asked, joining him. "What if it doesn't work?" he whispered. "Or worse, what if it does?" Olivia put a hand on his shoulder. Then everything changes. Launch day arrived with little fanfare. The mission was too secret for ceremonies. The 5 crew members took their positions in the ship. Captain Wright sat at the main control panel with Bennett beside her. Alan and Olivia monitored the drive, while Ellis handled communications. "All systems check," Wright said. "Drive is powered and ready," Alan confirmed. Wright looked at each of them. "This is for all of humanity. Let's make history." She pressed the activation sequence. The space around the Pathfinder shimmered, and the ship vanished from Earth. In the Proxima Centauri system, the Pathfinder appeared suddenly near a small moon. Through the viewports, they could see an artificial structure on the moon's surface. "Alien outpost confirmed," Ellis said quietly, looking at the scanner. "They're not detecting us," Bennett added, watching the sensor readings. Wright carefully guided the ship closer using conventional thrusters. The structure became clearer, a dome with strange antennae and dishes pointed toward Earth. "It's a monitoring station," Olivia realized, "like the one in our Kuiper belt." Suddenly, a small craft emerged from the dome and moved in their direction. "They've spotted us visually," Wright said. "Not with their technology, but with their eyes." "First contact," Ellen whispered. "What do we do?" "We say hello," Wright decided, "but on our terms." She activated the ship's external lights, flashing them in a clear mathematical sequence, prime numbers, the universal language. The alien craft slowed, then flashed its lights in response. "They're surprised," Ellis said, watching the alien ship's movements. "They have no idea how we got here." Earth had just changed the galactic game. 3 months after their first successful test, Alan and Olivia moved their equipment to a larger lab space they rented off campus. The university would ask too many questions if they saw what the 2 scientists were building. "Hand me that wrench," Olivia said from underneath the metal framework that now took up most of the room. This new prototype was much bigger than their first one, large enough to transport something the size of a basketball. Ellen passed her the tool and checked their calculations again. "If this works, We'll need to tell someone. Who? The government? A private company? Olivia slid out from under the device. Once this gets out, our lives will never be the same. I know, Alan said, but this is too big to keep secret. That night they ran the test. They placed a clock inside the metal ring at the center of their machine. Alan entered coordinates for the empty container 10 feet away. Ready? He asked. Olivia nodded and pressed the activation button. The air around the clock shimmered slightly. Then the clock vanished and appeared in the target container instantly. No flash, no sound, just there one moment, and somewhere else the next. It's not just moving the object, Alan said, checking his instruments. It's folding space around it. The clock never actually traveled through the space between points. That's why it needs so little energy, Olivia added. We're not pushing against anything. They didn't celebrate with champagne or cheers. The weight of what they had done left them quiet and thoughtful. The next morning, a black SUV parked outside their lab. 3 people got out, 2 men in suits and a woman in an Air Force uniform. They knocked on the door. Alan opened it cautiously. Can I help you? The woman stepped forward. Dr. Porter, I'm Major Kathy Bennett, United States Air Force. These are my colleagues from the Department of Defense. We'd like to talk about your research. Alan's face went pale. How did you know? Your energy signature was unusual. We monitor for these things. She smiled slightly. May we come in? Inside, Major Bennett explained that a secret government program had detected their tests. We've been watching for breakthrough technologies, she said. Your method is unlike anything our scientists have predicted. The male agent who hadn't spoken yet finally did. I'm Frank Ellis, DOD Special Projects. Dr. Porter, Dr. Green, we want to offer you resources to develop this technology further. Why? Olivia asked bluntly. Because if you've discovered what we think you have, it's a matter of national security, Frank said, and potentially human security. Major Bennett leaned forward. We have evidence that Earth is being observed by non-human intelligence. We need advantages they won't expect. Alan and Olivia exchanged looks. This matched what they had theorized after seeing Lisa Murray's data, which she had shared in a private science forum. If we work with you, Alan said slowly, we maintain control of our research. Agreed, Major Bennett said. We're offering partnership, not confiscation. 6 months later, their lab had moved to a secret facility in Colorado. With government funding, they built a prototype large enough for a human. The Porter Green displacement drive was taking shape. The first living test subject was a rat. It traveled 50 feet in an instant, arriving healthy and unaffected. The next step is a human test, Alan said as they examined the rat. I'll do it, Major Bennett volunteered. She had become part of their team, offering military perspective on their work. It's too risky, Frank argued. We don't have time for more animal testing, Bennett replied. The monitoring station Lisa Murray detected has increased its activity. Something's changed up there. In the Kuiper Belt, the aliens were indeed growing curious. Not about the displacement drive. They still couldn't detect that, but about increased government activity around certain facilities. The humans are building something, Mrek reported to his commander. But our sensors detect only conventional materials. Keep watching, the commander ordered. But I doubt it's anything important. How wrong they were. Dr. Alan Porter yawned as he stared at the screen in his small lab. The numbers didn't make sense. He had been working on quantum entanglement for 5 years at Western Nebraska University, and today something strange happened. The particles weren't behaving according to any known physics. That can't be right, he muttered, rubbing his tired eyes. He ran the test again. Same result. The quantum particles weren't just entangled. They were somehow occupying the same space despite being in containers 10 feet apart. It violated everything he knew about physics. Alan picked up his phone and called his colleague. Olivia, can you come to the lab? I need another set of eyes on this. 15 minutes later, Olivia Green walked into the lab. She had been an aerospace engineer before joining the university 3 years ago. She looked at Alan's data and frowned. Have you checked the equipment? 3 times, Alan said. It's not an error. Olivia ran her own tests while Alan watched. Her eyes grew wider with each result. Alan, do you realize what this means? She whispered, even though they were alone. If these particles are actually folding space somehow, we could potentially move objects across vast distances instantly. He finished her thought. Neither of them said the words faster than light, but both were thinking it. Far beyond Neptune, hidden in what looked like an ordinary Kuiper Belt object, aliens watched Earth. The monitoring station was one of hundreds the Galactic Council had placed around pre-FTL worlds. Inside, 2 aliens checked their equipment. Anything interesting from the humans today, Mrek? Asked the station commander. Nothing significant, Mrek replied, looking at readouts that measured energy signatures across Earth. They're still burning fossil fuels and experimenting with ion drives. Typical Stage 3 development. How long until they develop FTL capability? Mrek made a sound like a laugh. At least a century, maybe 2. Their understanding of physics is so limited. The commander nodded. The council was right to classify them as low-priority observation. No need to waste resources on diplomatic contact preparations. Neither alien noticed the small, unusual energy spike from a lab in Nebraska. Their equipment wasn't designed to detect it. Nothing in their experience suggested looking for it. At NASA's Deep Space Monitoring Facility, Lisa Murray frowned at her screen. For the 3rd time this month, her instruments had picked up a strange reflection from the outer solar system. Something that shouldn't be there. Hey Ben, take a look at this, she called to her colleague. Ben Rogers wheeled his chair over. What am I looking at? See this object? Its albedo is all wrong for a natural formation. And look at the regular pattern of these signals. Ben studied the data. Could be instrument error. 3 times in a month. Same pattern. I don't think so. Lisa saved the data to her private server. Something's out there. And it's not just a rock. Back in Nebraska, Alan and Olivia worked through the night. By morning, they had a theory that could change everything. If we build a field generator based on this principle, Alan said, pointing to his notes, we could create a displacement effect that essentially folds space around an object. We'd need better equipment, Olivia said. I have some money left in my research grant. Not much, but enough to build a small prototype. They looked at each other, both understanding the moment's importance. Let's do it, Olivia said. They had no idea they were being watched by aliens who had completely underestimated human ingenuity. They didn't know about the Galactic Council or its rules about pre-FTL civilizations. They were just 2 scientists following an unexpected discovery. Over the next 3 weeks, they built their prototype in secret. It was small, just big enough to test their theory on a subatomic level. When they activated it for the first time, a pencil on Alan's desk vanished and reappeared 6 feet away. It worked, Olivia whispered in awe. Neither of them realized they had just changed humanity's future forever. And somewhere in the outer solar system, alien monitoring equipment continued to miss what would soon shock the entire galaxy.